Hey there, so I want to show you 5 Afrobeat melody styles that you need to know if you want to make catchy Afrobeat tracks. If you're new, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to be using Analog Lab to play my chords. Open piano roll for that. And I'm going to use from the MIDI kit, the Platinum MIDI kit. You can get it from the link in the description, or you can even get the combo that is the mega bundle that comes with all the Afro MIDI pack at a much more affordable price. So I'm just going to drag this in here. If you don't know how to create really good chords, I recommend you get the MIDI chord pack because it's almost impossible to get great melodies if your chord progression is not sounding good. Alright, I like this chord, but I think it's a bit too long, so I'm going to make them shorter so I can be like a single bar each. Yeah, I think that's it. So there are 3 S's that you need to know when you're trying to create Afrobeat melodies. The first, it needs to follow a sequence. That means what you do in one side, you need to repeat something similar in a different side, which I'll show you shortly. Secondly, it needs to be simple. It needs to be really, really simple and catchy, okay? Then the third is it needs to be soft. Use soft sounds to create your melodies because Afrobeat typically has a lot of sounds going on and you want any sound that comes after your melody to just complement and not just clash, okay? We're trying to avoid clash in our melodies, all right? So since we have this chord progression, let's get into the actual melody. Right, so the very first melody style is the Strum style, okay? Just you copying your chord and then you paste it in here. Then you open the piano roll for the new melody and then you just simply take away the bass notes because all our MIDI chord packs come with the bass notes so that you know what the bass notes are. And then you simply press option S to strum in FL Studio and then you simply move this. You will also adjust the strum manually to get better, but let's hear how it sounds for now. Right, so let's adjust that, then press Ctrl Q or Command Q. So we need it to sound like this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Increase the volume. By the time I play with my drums, then in solo with my chords, so how does this melody fit into the 3 S's? If you listen closely, you can see that this right here has a sequence, right? They all start at the beginning, right? And then there's a step before the second note, a step before the second note, a step before the second note, and a step before this note as well. And then the last notes, there are 3 steps before this, 3 steps before this, 3 steps before this, and 3 steps before this. Now that's what it means to establish a sequence, okay? Because it makes it easy for whoever is listening to your melody or your vibe to kind of predict what's going to come next, okay? You don't want to have too many surprises in your production, okay? Or at least, unintentional. You don't have unintentional surprises in your melody structure. The second S that this melody satisfies is that it's simple. It's just, if you just hear it, da-da-da-da, like it's just, you can easily hum it, right? That is why it's simple. It satisfies that S, okay? It's simple. So it has a sequence, it's simple, and then the sound is soft. Like if you hear this guitar, it's a soft sound. And what do I mean by soft? Like if you hear it with headphones or with speakers, it's not irritating your ear, right? It sounds pleasant, it sounds calm, it sounds complimentary, okay? So this, if your melody can satisfy these 3 S's, then you're going to have a really nice melody structure. So this is structure 1, or this is melody type 1, basically just strumming. Then let's move on to the second melody structure. So the second melody structure is just a basic counter chord melody. So just copy your chord again. You can see we're relying so much on our chord, right? Then just right click and paste. Now we won't just leave it to play. We're going to highlight all of this. I'm going to adjust the start point. So I can reduce this by 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Just, keep adjusting it till I like the bounce. So most times I recommend you hear this with your drums so that you know if you like the bounce, okay? So let's hear it on 1 step. Let's hear it on 2 steps. And then let's hear it 3 steps. Then 4 steps. Then let's hear it here. You could keep adjusting it, but I recommend you the maximum number of steps you want to go to should be about 10 steps, which is somewhere around here. Because most times if you go beyond these points, it just sounds, weird, okay? But that doesn't mean you can't, because, music, you can be creative, but I recommend you stop somewhere here if you want to go too far. So I think I prefer this. So it's really simple. And how does it satisfy the 3S? Again, it has a sequence. If you see 2 steps before they start, 2 steps before it starts, 2 steps before it starts, and 2 steps before it starts. That is the first sequence, okay? The second sequence is that it's simple. Dun, like just, you can easily hum it, right? So it sounds really simple. And then the third S is like soft. Again, still using the same sound. And this can work for any sound. It doesn't have to be this particular guitar sound. I'm only using this so you have like a fair comparison of the different types of melody. So whether you're using electric piano, you're using a guitar, you're using a synth, you're using, bells, you're using keys, any other sound, similar principles apply, okay? So this is the second melody structure. So let's move on to the third melody structure. So for the third melody structure, we're going to be paying more attention to the root key, okay? And for the platinum MIDI chord pack, most of the chords, in fact, all of the chords are on C major, okay? So this is C, okay? So I'm going to just click in, let's say, notes here. So adjust the length. Come here again, C. Then so how this actually works is that the starting note, it could be the starting note in your own case or like mine, or it could be the middle note, it could be the last note. Has to be one of the notes has to be on the root key, okay, continuously. So you can see I have this note on the root key, I have this note on the root key, this note on the root key, and this note on the root key. And the sequence is that, like, if you check it out, the first note is on the root key and it's just 2 steps. Also this point again, the first note is on the root key and it's just 2 steps, right? And if you look at this sequence, the second bar and the fourth bar, if you count number of steps, about 10 steps. And if you check this out again, about 10 steps. So if I were to solo it, let's hear how it sounds. Can see it has sequence, it's simple, and it's soft, okay? So this is the third melody structure that can help you out, become, better at making melody. So even if I were to move it around and take this, let's say, higher up and bring this down, I could bring this. So you could still have, you know, decent results with that, but I just prefer this. You could even have it this way. I also have this. Let's hear with the drums. So now we have that arrangement going on. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth melody style. The fourth style is kind of similar to this structure that we just did. That's the third style. But the only difference is that we don't really need to have any of the notes on the root key. So let me clone this. Then just repeat the same thing here. Again, sequence. So this is how it sounds with the drums. And this is how it sounds in solo. So you could play with it to make it more interesting and make it, you know, more unique to yourself. You could add more notes or use less notes. It's all up to you. But the guide for this is like just stick within the chords, and you don't have to have any of the notes on the root key, unlike the previous style. So the last but not the least style of melody is the ambient style. Okay, it's just basically using a sound that has a lot of ambience to it. So if I press play, you can hear that echo, that space going on. So the good thing with this style of melody is that if you want to keep your production really simple but catchy, you can use this to fill up space and at the same time make a catchy rhythm with your melodies. Okay, so let me open the piano roll for this. And again, most times they do stick with the root key, but you can, you know, bend it a little bit. But let's have this here, for example. Let's make it long. Now the thing with ambient sounds is that sometimes you need to make it really short to get the vibe you want, or you need to make it really long to get the vibe you want. So let's start really simple, maybe here. Then now we've had a sequence, so now let's try to make it simple. You can stick to one note if you want, but let's try to create a note here. Let's have this here and see. Yeah, I like that. So if you find this helpful, leave a like and subscribe for more tutorials, tips, and tricks. Cheers.